Thanks for staying with us. So before we move on to our next segment, the last caller raised a critical issue, which I think is worth discussing, of the fact that governors do get money from FAC, they get allocations, because one of the callers also talked about subsidy removal. So the idea was you've removed subsidy, you've saved so much money, that this money you've saved, you've shared it. But Nigerians are not feeling the impacts of the development in their individual states. And he's saying this in the federal government, Mr. God President, come and do something to us directly. And I'm thinking, and I'm saying, there are middlemen called governors. Is their job. So what are your thoughts on the work the governors are doing? Are they being responsible to the people? Are they being accountable to the people as regards what they're collecting from FAC? Because some governors will argue that, listen, yes, the money is plenty, but inflation, things cost is high. I cannot, even the road I was doing at this amount of million before, now it's costing me double or triple. So, yes, I'm getting more money, but it's still not sufficient. That's what the governors are likely to say. What are your thoughts, Nima?
So, just as they said, unfortunately, we don't have houses of assemblies who are checking appropriation bills and seeing that whatever was estimated was expended, and they're auditing it and seeing. The governors are balling right now. The domestic debt office, what's it called? That office released our figures on our debts. And what the subnationals have generated in the gbese that we are owing as a country is alarming. Yet, nobody talked about, since May last year, when subsidy was announced and removed, the increased allocation going to each state, what it has just done is enable spending for governors unabatedly.
Lao.
Yet, when they want to do roads, you hear that we took a loan with a World Bank, we took a loan with a IMF, we took a loan. They're just taking a loan. Nobody's really auditing so that we have figures. So the allocation that has come, governors are still in this tripartite meeting saying we can't afford to pay salaries. They're saying, how is this supposed to now trickle down? It's when you remove this one, you transfer it this way.
The other one.
If you are in the meeting with increased allocation per states, all of you, let's join together, because don't tell us you are using the money to do roads. That's not what you are doing. That's the truth. You're taking loans to do the roads. You're partnering with one body or the other to do the roads. What you are doing with the money, explain. What we see them do is that, for instance, we had this guest last week, or was it on Monday, and they were talking about increased money for governor spending as opposed to what was allocated for infrastructure in that state. We don't have the figures, and we know right now they're just enjoying their lives.
Let me take this call from Yakob, because you heard something about the House of Assemblies. Good morning, Yakob. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Morayo. Morayo, the truth is this. The other caller that already called before, they have seen a lot of things, and then they still the nail at the right place. Morayo, you see, our governors, they are not doing well at all. They were not doing well at all. And then I can tell you for free, Morayo, we are still going to go back to zero funds. Why? Why? Because this 150 days, it is not enough at all. The issue is that, does it mean the government is assuring us that the security of this country is going to be top-notch before that 150 days ends? Which I believe it is not going to happen. You know why? Why? Because how long have we been in this kind of situation we found ourselves? More than 10 years. Are you telling me within 150 days, the security of our people is going to be okay, especially the farmers, for them to go back to farm? And then even though they go back to farm, one of your colleagues, in person of Mrs. Tanima, is sitting down in the studio. Can she tell us what is the cost price of our local rice now? See, the thing is so costly to them that it is only BC sitting down there can buy the rice. Some of us cannot afford it. And then we can also go and meet people that are selling this foreign rice. This foreign rice of the thing that we are talking about, now the rice are changing the price. If you go to market today, you get it like 75,000 naira. You go back tomorrow, they will tell you it's not 80,000 naira. Now they were telling them to bring this rice in now. Are they now going to bring adulterated rice for us? Who is going to monitor them?
Thank you very much, Yakob. Let me just thank you, Yakob. Let me just correct that impression. First of all, they're not bringing in rice. They're bringing in wheat, cowpeas, grains, number one. Secondly, he said that the 150, according to him, he's not government.
It's brown rice.
But he's saying it was brown rice. You're right. Actually, there's brown rice in this, husked brown rice. Now, he also said that the 150, which is 5 months, is what the government is proposing. But he believes that after they've rolled out and they review, there's a potential for them to actually extend it if it's necessary. So it's not like it has to be 150
Close
days.
it if it has worked.
Yeah, or close if it has worked. So I want us to be very clear on what was communicated earlier. Talking about our governors.
Yeah, so now I feel bad for the removal of subsidy because I thought that we were mature as Nigerians to be accountable to each other. I thought our leaders had gotten to the point where they will put their interest of their citizens first. And I'm looking at the governors right now. The idea behind the fuel subsidy was government subsidizing for the poor, so that even though things are not working out well, we still are struggling with good roads, we are struggling with great health care, we are struggling with quality education. At least the little things that we get subsidy from, like the petrol, that's PMS, and the electricity would also, reduce the cost on the poor. That was the idea. And when it was time to, okay, now a lot of people are taking advantage of it. The rich are now embezzling. They are now the ones gaining more from the subsidy instead of the poor. We now decided to look at it. Okay, should we remove this subsidy? And the idea behind the removal of that subsidy was that what we're going to save from paying this subsidy will now be channeled into other things for the poor, for the masses, infrastructural development, quality education, health care, availability of as basic as food that we eat. But right now we're seeing that, it seems like they are sharing money, the governors are taking money, and it's not trickling down. So what is the essence of removing the fuel subsidy in the first place? So I think we need to start holding our government accountable, our governors accountable. Yes. And unfortunately, they have immunity. So to what extent do we hold them accountable? Sometimes they say our power belongs to the people. You people need to speak up. You people need to shout. How do we speak up against people who have immunity?
And that's what
who we cannot hold. No. Arrest. It's not even arrest. It's about, like she rightly said, investigate what the resources are used for.
Let me stay on that a bit, because that's what I wanted to harp on when no matter what, House of Assembly, their job really is to check the spending.
Yeah, checks and balances.
Yeah, that's their job. But many of them are rubber stamps because, hey, our person, we're same party, but we. So how do we ensure the lawmakers, especially at the House of Assembly local levels, are doing their job? Because, okay, especially for that extra money that we've gotten from FAC, what are you doing? If our focus is education, this is our state, these extra billions we've got to know, this is our focus, there's got to be a direction. If it is solar panels, we're going to use our money to buy the entire state. We need governors to start getting creative. What are your thoughts on the fact that many of our House of Assembly lawmakers seem not to be checking our governors in their spending?
Okay, so me, from the some of our policies that we make, right, the removal of subsidy, we can bring it back since we can see that since we removed it, problems have been coming up. Yeah, you can bring it back. Yes, we can.
You agree with your caller that we should bring back?
We should bring it back so that at least we can eat, we can feed.
Eventually get
this is the thing. The governors, right, they are, for example, now, like the northern governors, I always say that they need to do something about this banditry. It's becoming a very serious issue in the north. Right? Well, that is where the food comes from and all. Because I know of a lot of farmers who checked out this period. Of course, they must have planted their tomatoes and everything a long time ago. They just took advantage of the opportunity that it went up. I know of a farmer that farmed tomatoes for a very long time. He made so much money. He sponsored 3 of his brothers for Hajj. From these tomatoes, from the cost of tomatoes that went up. So at the end of the day, our governors are just sitting down instead of helping in this. Okay, what about the state police that they were talking about? Has it been approved so that we can stop this
insecurity
so that the farms can come up and then start producing food?
I just wanted to touch on that conversation because what Tunde said was really something that is worth conversing about. But let me just take our final caller. Thanks for calling. You're live. Good morning.
Good morning.
Abdurrahman, you're live. Go ahead, please.
A first caller to your program.
First time caller. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm Engineer Osman Ndan Mohammed calling from Abuja. And it's an interesting topic. But the major problem we have, can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly.
Yeah, the major problem we have is not the succor or the palliative. It is we Nigerians. Because this item is going to get into the hand of the middlemen. And within the 3-month window you are given, yes, a sufficient time of importation. but it's not sufficient time for distribution. Government should tell us how are they going to do it for this item to get down to the poor masses in the society. That is the only way. That is number two. The issue of getting continuity of agriculture. You must think about how do you take care of insecurity in the north. The north take the highest agricultural production in this country, and that is where the dwellers of these kidnappers and what you call them, they are rampaging. And the government should take a decisive decision, a serious political will to trim them down. If not, we cannot get out of the quagmire. Even though you inform for the next 1 year, the middlemen are going to audit, and by the time they audit, as they are talking, as government is talking now, they are thinking the idea. They are already placing the idea of how to hold that item. They will still tell you that, okay, the government has stopped the pollution tax has increased. Okay, for that reason, the price has shoot up again. So government should be able to tell Nigerians how is it going to do this thing so that the level of hunger can reduce in the society.
Thank you very much, Usman. I'm going to have to wrap up on this segment, but I think in a nutshell, it's crucial for us as Nigerians to turn our lenses or our gaze on our governors. How are they spending the money? Let us begin to hold them more accountable. Because the truth is that there's a lot more that can be done. Some governors are more effective than others. I must say that there are some governors that we know are doing well. Recently, Ogun State governor was on hot seat concerning infrastructure. So many governors have been on hot seat for different things. So I think it's a good sign of the people's involvement in democracy and showing that, listen, we must get the benefits of the revenue that we're making, that the country is saving since this administration started. So that's all we can take on this segment. We're going to go on a short break. When we come back, bring our doctor to come and discuss our health segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.